So you have to go through figuring out who you are, what it is that makes you tick. Like, what are the great things about you that somebody else is going to really enjoy?
Welcome to the new series, Cocktails and Conversation with Kat and Nat.
And we've decided to bring you all of these conversations with people that we like to have, where there's a little bit of wisdom, always hilarity and hilaria. Yes. Some famous, some just cool, some drink, some don't drink, but there's always a conversation.
Cheers, join us.
You guys tagged us in a Insta story.
Yeah.
And then I went to your profile and I was like, oh shit, Nat is gonna be all over this because she has a mild obsession with dating and relationships. And every time we get on a plane, we have to talk about, imagine that guy and I went to the bathroom. Like, we have to go, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're a natural. Okay.
Yeah. A natural. So we don't do any of it, but we like to talk about it.
Fantasize about it all the time.
So,
well, you know, everybody feels that way, right? When they hear matchmaker, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's like,
it's not. Come on. Okay, what do you guys do?
Let me tell you what it is. Let me tell you what it is.
Give us a slowdown of what you do for our audience who does not know.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are relationship experts and matchmakers. Okay.
Have been for over 20 years.
Okay.
That's how we met.
Exactly.
We met 20 years ago on the job working at a matchmaking company. Yeah. And since the day we locked eyes, we've been best friends ever since.
Yeah. How do you become a relationship expert?
Well, for us, it's literally been the
years of experience,
hands-on, tangible experience, and talking to hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, Nicole and I
on a regular basis.
Nicole and I, for about 17 years, matched 100 people per day each.
Every day.
Wait.
Well, 5 days a week.
100 people per day?
Yeah, each.
Yeah.
As a minimum requirement.
So let me give you a little background. I'm not going to share the company just yet, but at some point we will do that.
Largest relationship company in Canada.
Not in Canada, in North America. So you'll probably have an idea. There was lots of commercials and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, that machine taught us everything that we needed to know.
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
100,000. And the volume. Okay, so we're talking about, in its entirety, I think we've had like 60,000 members. Yeah, with the machine. Okay. So this is what we're used to. We're used to volume. Volume.
Yeah. We were the managers of the matchmaking department.
Director and assistant director.
Yeah. Okay. So we took care of a lot because, you know, a majority of matchmaking is about counseling and convincing. Because everybody thinks that obviously it's not free. And second of all, out the gate, you're asked, well, what are you looking for?
Wait,
so you have your long list.
I have to reverse. So you guys have to get to know them before, like when you mean counseling. Oh my God. So you have to work them through. They think they're perfect and they want someone who is perfect. And then
obviously,
you guys have to be like,
obviously.
So you basically are lowering people's expectations before they go into a relationship.
So what we want to do is not lower them. We want to manage them because people's expectations are a little out of sync with who they actually are.
And one more important thing. Yeah. You're going to hear me say this a million times, and I will say this forever. You will never know who you're going to fall in love with until you do. And I only know that through my professional experience and even in my personal experience. And yes.
So going back to the original question about the is matchmaking fun?
Okay.
It's not so much that it's fun, it's more rewarding than it is fun. Do you know what I'm saying? So like
yes.
Getting to create families is the most beautiful. Like when someone calls us back to be like, oh, you know, Jim and I are gonna get married, or you know, whatever, Pam and I are having a baby. It's like, oh my, that gives us it's what keeps us going.
It keeps us going.
We were born for this, right? So it keeps us going. But the actual matchmaking itself, no, that's actually not as fun.
Well, the reason why too is because people come to you in pain. They're not like, yeah, I'm so happy, I'm perfect, and everybody loves me, and I'm gonna put myself out there. No, people come. It's like, hey, this isn't working. I've tried online dating. I've tried on my own. I've tried through friends and family. I'm busy with my life. All of these reasons why they haven't found someone, and they're lonely and sad and searching for love. So that's why Nicole and I, when we left the machine and started the Love Listeners, that was our main focus. We need to come and find what your pain points are, so that when you're putting yourself out there, it's not painful, because it will be. We've seen people, because people do think they're perfect, they will burn through every single match, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you guys suck." It's like,
I think you know what?
27 times. I don't suck. The fuck.
You know what's pretty amazing is that you guys are probably talking about people who are single, but while you're saying this, like I'm kind of like checking myself, because I believe I'm perfect, and that, I'm not, but it's good reminder to hear that, as you sit there, you're like, you have to remember that I guess everyone thinks they're perfect, and that's a problem.
Okay, wait. So I got to know, how does your service work? Like, I know how the machines work. Like, I don't really know. I didn't even know there was really people behind some of those machines. I thought it was like all computerized.
Massive. Well, there are the online ones, but the company we work for was full service. And when we first started working there, like, it's literally matching with pen and paper. Yeah. Now everybody matches with computers.
Okay.
And algorithms and all kinds of stuff.
So how do you guys work? Let's say I come to you and I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm single and I can't find anybody. I've heard about the Love Listeners. I email you guys, and what happens?
Okay, so it's a little bit of a different process.
Okay.
So let me just tell. I was going to tell you what it used to be, but let me just tell you what it is now. So you have to go through the coaching process before you can get to the matchmaking process. I'm going to tell you why. Because otherwise, you're going to waste my time and yours. And I'm not interested in that. So we want to make sure that you are ready for what it is you're asking for. There are a few things that you're going to always hear Natasha and I say. And that is, you don't know until you know. Mm-hmm. Prime example, being a mother. Okay, I have a 4-year-old, my first and only. And she has 2 girls. And lots of my girlfriends actually have kids. And of course, they would tell me stories all the time about, like, having kids and childbirth and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't really understand it until I had my own.
Nobody can.
Nobody can understand that.
Right.
I could tell you all day about, everybody heard about, oh, it's painful. Yeah, labor is pain. It's excruciating, and like, you're going to feel like you're going to die. But no. There's a difference between you
hearing about it, like you're going to die, and dying.
Right. Okay.
Hearing about dying and actually living it. Yeah.
So
True.
For people to understand who they are when they're putting themselves out there to meet someone. Because often people will say that they're looking for this, that, and the other thing, but they aren't that. Maybe they want to at some point be that person, their best self, but they're not right now. And so when you put yourself out there looking for your best self and you're not your best self, it's not gonna work.
Well,
it won't last long term.
Wait. How do you get them to find? I mean, this is such an important conversation, even beyond dating. How do you get people
100%
to be honest with themselves and find out who their best selves are?
This is where the coaching part of it goes. So you have to go through the coaching part of it first. We have to know that you are ready for what it is you're asking for, because the process, what we know for sure, is the process will be way too long for you if you're not ready for what you're asking for. And then you're going to be a member for like 5 years and nobody wants that. Mainly you don't, right? You want to be able to do this sooner than later. So you have to go through figuring out who you are, what it is that makes you tick. Like, what are the great things about you that somebody else is going to really enjoy? Do you know what I mean? Things of that nature.
Well, yeah, I think also too, you were mentioning about lowering expectations, and Nicole was saying it's more about managing them. Mm-hmm. People always think that they're going to fall in love with the how old, how tall, what job, what education, what car, all of that.
What height.
Yeah, when who you're going to fall in love with is what's on the inside. And that can't be written on paper. And people don't
never know.
Yeah, you just never know until you fall in love. So it's really about also, finding out where their pain is, and also acknowledging what it is that they're looking for, and if they're a match.
Wait, how do you find out what their pain is when most people cannot even like articulate their pain. They
That's
just
why they're saying so much of their stuff is actually
Through
counseling.
Yeah, so-
conversation. Through conversation.
like
Yeah.
give me.
we have
I
to-
need an example of this. Like you're basically letting people know they have baggage and to figure that out before they go into a
Well,
relationship.
first and foremost, I don't want you to consider your life as any sort of baggage. to
Yeah.
be
Okay.
honest with you. We feel like even one of your client questions was, I have all of this.
Yeah, I'm in my 40s.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids. I have all this baggage, but I'm a nice person.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw
no,
that too.
Lead with being a nice person.
Don't say that you have baggage, because somebody else is going to think you have baggage.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about, as far as you have to know who you are first before you get out there. You don't want to be telling people that you have baggage. They're not going to respect that. Baggage sounds like it's
Negative.
and horrible, and nobody wants that.
And your kids should not be
Ever be
viewed
baggage.
as baggage.
Ever.
They're part of your life.
And if someone can't accept that, that's
They're
not
not your
your
person.
And that's okay.
So there is no baggage in life. No one has baggage. They just have
Everybody has
We have baggage.
their
but
Everyone has
life
baggage.
story.
how you refer to yourself, how you refer to your situation and the things that happen in your life is important, because it's how it's going to come at you. Like if we even talk about the law
Well,
of attraction.
it's made you who you are. That's
Exactly.
gotten to this point.
Exactly.
You're good. You're bad. And you're ugly.
fundamentally changing people.
Exactly.
So
you definitely don't want to refer to anything as bad. Mhm.
okay, so let's say I'm like, I'm divorced, I've got a bunch of kids, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for a guy, and yada yada. I come right now. Do you have a bank of guys for me? Like, do you have a bunch of people on the roster just ready for you to match me with?
Yeah. So when, like, for any boutique style matchmaking, which is what we would be now considered, since we left the machine, you can only, as 2 people, we can only have so many members, right? We're only going to be able to physically manage a certain amount of
To
people.
counsel a
A
certain amount of
majority of
people.
the time, what we end up doing, so of course we're going to go through our pool of men and women to see who we have that suits what you're looking for and blah, blah, blah. But in the event that we don't have someone that suits what you're looking for, then we recruit. So
How do you
we recruit everywhere. So that could be like, and it also kind of depends on what that person does for a living and all of that stuff. But we will recruit anywhere. Like we can literally be at Loblaws and be like, see somebody like would be perfect for our client and be like, hey, can we talk to you? And then literally, if that person is open to it, then we'll have a conversation with them.
Oh my God.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you ever believe in like a love at first sight in a grocery store? Like you're talking to all these people. Do you ever think like, oh my God, what if I get the magnet attraction in my vagina and it's like I can't, like this is the person I need to be with? Or that's not true. That's not a real thing.
No, it's a real thing.
It's a very real thing.
Oh my God, it's a real thing.
That happens to people often.
Yeah, it happened to me.
It
Yeah,
happened to
not the
me.
Like you,
Happens
no, but
to
I
me.
mean, like what? But
It didn't happen to me.
Happen again then.
Yes.
Actually,
yes.
now because we're talking to the love listeners, we were having a conversation yesterday about like lifetime love and how like when people are like, oh my gosh, like my parents just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary, it's so beautiful. I can't help but think like 40 fucking years together, like that seems kind of boring. Like, are we celebrating that we survived it? Are we celebrating that's beautiful? Do people have long lasting romantic relationships that are so exciting 50 years later? Or is that all just sort of like part of the institution?
No,
That
it does exist.
That is another reason why we started doing the love listeners, girls. We give love a voice. See how you give moms a voice? We give love a voice. Don't buy into that you can't have a loving, beautiful, long-term romantic relationship with the right person. It's just often what we do is we try to do the right things with the wrong people.
person.
And then we're like, oh, fuck, this sucks. But if we look back at where it originated from, we're like, oh, you were not my person.
My boobs. Is it mainly women that watch this?
Hey, all of them. And you know what? Boobs, bring out the boobs. We bring them out all the time.
Like, geez, Louise. Okay, sorry.
So if I'm coming there and I'm like, okay, I'm investing because I'm seriously looking for a partner. It's always better in a way when if you're invested, you're investing money, you're committing more than someone who's just kind of signing up to like fuck on a date.
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
It could go anywhere from $2,500 to like $10,000. It depends. And
Now,
it depends on what package you purchase and all
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
Do women ever come and be like, honestly, like I just really want a rich guy who travels a lot and he's not home a lot?
Yeah, that used to happen. That used to happen to us more at the machine than because we, you know, the luxury of us owning our own company and having all the experience that we have, it puts us in a unique position to be like, no.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
where
I'm not
this
going to
is
take your
gonna
money
go.
because you're going to make this difficult for everyone involved.
Right.
And I'm just not going to do it. Yeah.
So, totally.
Yeah, we don't invest in that.
We want to take the pain out of our own lives too.
Yeah.
And that was something when we really got to, like, obviously there's going to be a whole story of how we got here and all that good stuff. But once we left the machine, it really opened our eyes up to many things that were negative in our lives. And after that, we really dug deep and figured out who we were. And that's also an added benefit to people. Like, we're every woman. You name it, I've been it and I lived it. So
I have a question for you guys. The women who are like, what would you say defines, like, you guys can only introduce people and then you kind of set them free, but like, how long do you know it's a match? Like, how quickly do you give your success a match, and how do you know that it's working, quote unquote working? Or is it just like they went on 4 dates and they're winning?
Yeah. So what it is sometimes people go on one date and they're like, oh no, I'm going to see this person again. And I only want to see this person. And then they place their phone on what we call a happy hold, which means that you're dating, you want to date that person exclusively. So we rely heavily on the feedback of our clients.
Okay.
And remember to let us know where they're at.
Okay.
And trust me, they do.
Okay.
Have you ever had a situation in all of your matchmaking life where you met a guy who was looking for a match and you were like, oh my God, like I'm into this guy?
No, I was married the whole time.
Yeah, me too.
So,
We were both married. we literally just got separated last
yeah,
year.
I just yeah.
You
we just
both
broke-
got separated
Yeah,
in the same
last
year?
in 2019.
You know what happened? Let's
What?
talk about it. Should we talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yes.
Let's talk about it. So, right?
There's so much to say,
So much.
girls.
I'm gonna try to pack it.
We are listening.
What happened was, we dedicated our lives for the first 17 years on work, really.
I didn't need to focus on my
Because-
own relationship
yeah.
because I'm busy focusing on yours.
Trying to make you happy. I'm figuring. Like,
I'm
we're like, oh, we're married. We're
Yeah,
fine.
I'm good.
We're
Yeah.
good. So like, whatever. We're gonna do.
We
we'll
don't
just
have to
focus
do
on you.
us. We're gonna do you.
And you know
Okay.
what? And it was okay because, like, nothing was horrible enough to be like, I'm gonna leave my marriage. But when we started, for lack of a better term, practicing what we preach,
Yeah.
No, but the career that we had, like when we went back to the original, like, is matchmaking fun? No, it's not. It's about managing expectations. It's about making you feel good, making you trust me, convincing you that if you're 5'2", you don't need someone who's 6'3". It's ridiculous. It's not what you're gonna fall in love with. So it's a lot. Plus, we have a really beautiful, full life of friends and family and a rewarding job and Visa cards and money and trips and a whole beautiful life. So yeah, coming home to my husband and having to deal with him for 5% of my life was fine for all of us.
not realizing that.
When I took the machine and the money out of the experience and tried to start a business with one of my closest, dearest friends, it started making us dig deep within and taking the negative, like, people are spending thousands of dollars and we're the managers. So you know what that's going to look like. It took me even a long time to feel not hated because I was yelled at as a daily regime of my
Part of
life.
the not fun part.
Yeah. So once I took that huge negativity out of my life, I started really looking at my life in a completely different way. And before you know it, I woke up. And when I did, I couldn't go back to sleep anymore. My eyes were wide open and I could see things for what they were. And I wouldn't have been able to do that, masking it with all the stuff.
Yeah.
What do you? So your relationship didn't live up to your expectations that you
know
had
what?
for
You know
yourself.
what? You know what happened? You know what happened, babe?
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it was like, I started to realize that I actually needed a little more than I was getting. You know what I mean? But I also quickly realized that I was not getting as much I needed, and it's my fault.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're so busy, you're not paying attention, and the times that you are paying attention, it's okay.
And going back to what you guys are saying, like, you think you're perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'm a good wife. I cook. I clean. I this, like that. Like, you know, you're like, no. Like, I'm good, you know? But then after, no. The reason I wasn't happy is because I was making decisions that weren't making me happy. And you cannot blame someone else for that. You have to look within.
They can only do what we allow them to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And not that we were allowing them to do horrible things. They weren't horrible to us or anything like that nature. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Is that kind of crazy that you both got separated in the same year?
You know what? We've been doing this our whole lives. Before we met each other and after, we are one.
Like, it's crazy.
Did you guys leave each other? Did you leave your husbands for each other?
No.
Honey, I'm looking for true love. My daughters are going to see their mother happy and in love. It's the whole reason I did this, was to show, to find true love, because you know what? It exists. And we know so many happy people in loving, beautiful relationships, personally.
Guys, you want to know something? I don't know if I believe in true love. I believe in love, and I believe in like a partnership, and I believe in like a loving relationship. But you know, true love, I believe, can only come without expectations of anything. And I believe that sex complicates relationships for expectations, because when, like, in my opinion, friendships are true love because there's zero expectations of what you should be doing, or, you know, where you should be, or because when you're managing other people in a household together, there's always expectations of each other because you need the other person to do this and do that. But when you have a friendship, there's no strings, literally no strings attached. And there's no money involved, and there's no
sex.
There's no hurt. There's no sex. It's just, I'm here for you if you need me, and vice versa. And that can't exist in a marriage or a long-term relationship, because you build a life where you basically need each other to complete every day. Like, not just emotionally, like physically, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So actually, no, that is the reason why you're okay. We can have a discussion about this off air later, but the reason why some people say things like that is because they haven't experienced it. It absolutely positively exists. True love. You can have your best friend and have that be your partner. That's your partner in life, and he's your best friend.
But see, that's the thing.
That happens all the time.
What? And that's why Nicole and
For how long though?
Ever. How long? We've been friends for 20-something years. How long you guys been friends?
Oh, no. I mean, I believe that it is, in my opinion, I believe that when we tell people there's only one true love out there.
No, I don't agree with only one true love. I think you could have many true loves.
Oh, well,
now we're talking.
Yeah. No, that's, I believe that every relationship brings some, I don't think one person should be all and do all for you. And I believe that some people get, I believe that people get complicated when they think of this one true love, and they complicate their whole life by thinking this person isn't doing what they need for them. And I'm like, not someone can't do everything for you. Like, I say something.
And do you want that? No.
Don't you
want
that?
But I guess that's also too, like, what is your definition of true love? Or what is your definition of love? What is your definition of what are your expectations?
And everybody's is going to be different.
Yeah,
exactly. And so mine is, I don't need my husband. I choose my husband. And I think that sometimes people in love, it's like, I can't live without you. And I'm like, I could live without you. I choose not to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You don't want to. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But so true love,
I spend your time. So going back to your original question, when 40 years later, you won't mind because you want to spend your time. So look at it like this. If you're with the right person, then me and Natasha could do another 40 years, but this could be my significant other. You know, I could still have a similar relationship, but add now the sex to make it, to heighten it, to romantic, to make it even better. And then you can absolutely have 40 years easily. You'd be comfortable.
But you know, we get like there's so much to talk about under this topic, because what it really is about there's so much, but mainly you have to make sure in the very beginning that you're picking the person that's right for you. Because if you pick the person just based off that person wanting you, or or them liking you or wanting you as a good enough criteria to start the foundation, and then, you know, time flies, and then before you know it, you're looking back thinking
40 years later and you're pissed that you wasted all this time.
So no, you know, though,
you know what, I think it's a really good thing when we say it depends on your definition of love, because what Kat is saying, I think that from another person's perspective, you and your husband have quote unquote true love, in that definition of, because you are going to be together forever and you have a lovely, respectful relationship.
I you know, where I get nervous about this idea of true love is I think that there's a lot of people who are married who are listening, and they think that it's this ambiguous feeling that just shows up at your door and lasts forever. And they're like, well, I'm not with my true love, I better go find them. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. And there's this person that we met who was on a very famous TV show, and we're friends with that person. And we were having drinks with him, and he was talking about, you know, he had found true love, and this was it. And we were drinking, and I go, you know, I don't want to tarnish what you're saying, but I want you to know that, you know, true love is sometimes not a long time. Like, true love isn't just one love. And he was like, no, this is it. This is it. This is it.
This is it. This is the love
I'm only
of my
doing
life.
this once.
I'm only doing this once. And I said,
but why even, like, not to say to put pressure on it, because you definitely don't want to be having like, all these marriages or whatever. I'm not promoting that.
But if you do it, we
exactly. Whatever your definition of love is, that's up to you, right? But it's about who you are on the inside is obviously going to affect your outcome on the outside.
Yeah.
And so that is why we do this, so that it isn't as painful for people. And then, all of these ideas, because obviously you just have your circle of people. So whatever they're bringing to the table and wherever that they're at, that's where their advice is coming from. You know, like I was speaking to someone the other day, and she was like, my single bitter friend said, it's like, well, you want to take advice from your single bitter friend? Like, I don't want that. So it really depends on who your circle is and where they're at in their life and where you are at your life, so that you can you want to be seeing things from a higher perspective. And there isn't one thing as just one true love.
I know. And you know what's crazy?
Through
the process of your life.
But you know what? You do have one true love, and this is another thing that we're always preaching, and that is yourself. If you have to be good in here, you know what I mean? Because you're not going to find happiness in somebody else. You're just not. You're just not.
So true. It's so true.
You
and
have
you know
to
what?
find it within yourself, and then other people will just enhance it. Yeah, they'll make it even better. You know.
And that's
for the first time in
really
my
hard.
life. I am 40. I just had my birthday last Monday.
Happy birthday.
And I turned 44. And this has been the happiest year of my life, because I have no negativity in it. I am at peace. I'm in total alignment with who I am. And I feel so good and so happy. And if I could teach anyone else that about digging in and really figuring out your true happiness and kind of looking at, like, it's a process. You don't just wake up one day and you're like, I'm good. It's painful. Digging in and figuring out where you've gone wrong and where you want to go is a painful process. But in the end, what's waiting for you on the other side of that is where all the beauty is. So it's so important to be your first love.
Are you both dating?
Not yet.
Not really.
This is the first time in my life I've been single. I've never not been single or even had a sexual partner like on a Saturday night.
This is very exciting for you. I'm very excited.
This is my first time in my life that I belong to myself.
Yeah.
And oh fuck, it feels so good. It feels so good.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious, really.
It's delicious.
No, I wanted to say that I think also a lot of women in marriage, when they're younger, they get married under this guise of like, I am in love with you and I'm going to dedicate my life to you. And like, you know, because we were taught that when we were younger, that you have to,
yeah,
you know,
my husband and I knew each other since we were 15 years old.
Right.
And
So
I just turned 44.
You're raised to make someone think it's your job to make them happy, right? That's
what.
Bingo!
Say that again.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Say that again.
Yeah. No, I really do believe that women are trained to believe they're there to make people happy or make men there.
Yeah, all
you know,
people.
And not themselves. Not themselves.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And it's not two ways. And I feel like when you grow up in your relationship, you need a partner who can level with you as you grow up, and you're kind of like, well, actually, I need this in my life too. And it's not just about me serving you or making you happy. And you know, our our husbands did grow into that role with us, because they never asked for us to make them happy, but we thought that was our job.
Yeah. I guess, but nobody told my husband that fucking memo.
See, that's what I'm saying. Hold on a second. That's what I'm saying to you. So did you feel like you had to shift that shit? Because it's like all of a sudden you realize,
no. And they weren't happy with it. They weren't happy with it, but you know, I think that, you know, they still make jokes about it, and they were deeply offended when I told them I don't need them, you know, deeply offended. Like they almost were like, they were such Sallies about it. Like, and we were like, oh my God, how old are you? You know what I mean?
I'm not saying I don't love you. I'm just saying.
No, like, I don't need you. Just get it through your head. I don't need you. I choose you. And that was so, like, you know, hard for them to hear. But I feel like as they become men, which I don't think all men become men. And a man is someone who is comfortable in their own skin.
Well, it's so hard for men to become men because we're so busy being their fucking mom.
Yeah. So when men become men and they let you be a woman and be your own woman, and not, you know, like I also said, our definition of true love is our husbands let us be us without expectations of who they think we should be. Although I think at times they would love to be in the 50s. Really think every man would love to be in the 50s.
Casserole waiting.
And sometimes Nat drives by and she's like, I can make that guy really happy. And he doesn't have a home. But, you know,
I feel like the expectations would be really low if I just picked up some like dirt bag from the side of the street. I'm like, I think he'd really appreciate just knowing me.
Yeah. So
yeah, exactly.
We think they're still learning.
You know, also too, which is something that both of us are going to have to deal with in the future, is making sure now that we're the new Nic and Tash, that we don't
being like ourselves,
authentic,
our true, showing you everybody the truth of what matchmaking really looks like behind the scenes, and like what matchmakers actually go through.
In real life. So now it's about us making sure that we don't create those habits again. Like the next relationship I get into, I don't want to be their mom. I want to be their sexy kitten and their life partner. I want them to be. Yeah.
Well, you guys, I feel like we have to do this again because
there's so much.
There's so much, and so much. And I feel like people, although we didn't get to a lot of the viewers' questions, I think we began to unpack a conversation that needs to continue, because I think a lot of women are listening, and we often beat around this conversation of how to find yourself and love, and we've never kind of put them together, and this was so insightful. I think I'm excited for this 100%. Podcast to launch.
And I also love that you know, a lot of women who are you know, divorced with kids, I love how you say, like, well, first of all, you don't have baggage. You know, don't leave.
You
with
have
that
beautiful kids.
negative thing. There's nothing wrong with children, and also all of your experiences from the past are experiences that made you who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You
It
guys,
brought you to this moment in your life. So now, where do you want to go?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. And if you are in a relationship, it doesn't, that maybe you both need to grow. It doesn't mean you can't. It maybe just means that,
I am
you know,
not,
there's work that has to
Nicole
be
and I,
done.
we always joke about this because I like, you know how like ex-smokers,
yeah,
they're like, oh my gosh, you smoke like bitch. You used to smoke last week. Stop. So I don't want to, Nicole and I don't want to be those people that like, now that we had the courage to leave our husbands, we're advocating for that. We're not.
No.
We're advocating for true love.
For you to be happy.
What needs to come back into play is love and compassion. Men have no idea what the fuck's going on right now, and ladies want to go burn their bra. So we need to figure out how we're going to come back together so that more people, like, we're in 2020. Like, Corona came, it changed everything, it slowed it down. It should make you realize what's important and what's not. And now that you know that, what do you want out of your life and love? Like, we want to be throbbing and thriving, and you can't do that if you're not in love.
It feels like right now we're throbbing.
Yeah.
Right now we're throbbing. Like,
Oh my
it's the
God,
most
amazing.
It's like it's the anticipation before something fantastic happens.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Well,
like
yeah.
You
We-
cannot,
yeah.
you cannot, and I will fight anybody about this. I've
Not
fought,
physically.
I've
We
fought
don't
about
fight.
this for the last 20 years, that true love, it still exists and you can have it.
A
So
million
don't-
times over.
yeah,
if you need it.
and you know, like, we hate here, like, you know, what's love got to do with it?
Everything.
Everything. Because if that person loved you, they wouldn't hurt you. They wouldn't disrespect you, and they wouldn't be deceitful to you. So don't let people think love hurts. No. Deceit and disrespect hurt.
People
Don't
hurt. Love doesn't hurt.
Don't convince those. Don't let some deceitful, disrespectful person make you believe that love hurts. It doesn't. It's the most beautiful, pure emotion, and it will make you move mountains. When you're in love, you could fly. So if you have to make sure that that person you're loving feels the same way about you, you feel that way about yourself, so that you can thrive in your life and be in love. That is a real thing. It's just that now with social distancing and like, it's just, we need to bring people back together with love and compassion.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this. Where can people find you? This is a to be continued. We're going to do this again.
Yes,
Where can people
definitely.
find you?
Okay, so on Instagram, it's The Love Listeners. On Facebook, it's The Love Listeners and also The Love Listeners Live. And
Our
we
website.
have Twitter, but we don't really use it. I think it's love_listeners. I'm going to get back into it one of these days. And then our website is www.thelovelisteners.com.
Thank you guys so much. It's so nice to finally meet you.
Yes,
Thank you
you
for
too. So
all
excited
of
to meet
this.
you guys.
We absolutely adore you guys. And
Yay.
also, just a quick side note.
Yeah.
When I came across you guys,
Yeah.
you don't even know how many times you've helped me. Where I'm like, you've said something that I've been thinking, but I never said out loud because I'm like, you know, I don't want anybody to think that I'm going to be a horrible mom or I'm like, you know what I mean, whatever.
Yeah, no,
And then you guys said it. I'm like, oh
No,
my
you
God,
gave-
it's a thing.
You
It's not
guys
just me.
gave moms a voice,
Yeah.
and nobody else. Yeah, you know what? I am gonna give my kids fucking hot dogs for dinner because you know what? That's all she likes to eat. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah, and
know
butter
what
and noodles
I'm
and
gonna
salt.
do. What am I gonna
Who
do? What am I
cares?
gonna do? Like, let them starve?
My
No, I'm just
older
gonna give
daughter wants to eat like the Kardashians, and my younger daughter wants to eat like Honey Boo Boo.
Very, you know what?
Nice.
That is an amazing analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, well, definitely.
So
let's
thank
definitely do
you. Thank you for
Yeah, thank
giving
you
moms
guys.
a voice. You
Yeah.
have no idea. Like that
that.
is
It really,
yeah.
you've helped us. And
Aw,
for
thank
sure.
you guys. We
For sure.
appreciate you so much. And go check them out, and we'll link everything. And yeah, leave 5 stars on both podcasts, and make sure to subscribe so that you can find them all the time. That's what we're gonna do.
Yes,
Ladies,
yes.
thank you so much, and we will. This is to be continued.
To be
Bye,
continued.
guys.